הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה לה, יאללה לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה לה, לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
So you can see the translation there of those words, Hine ma tov, how good it is for all of us to be together. I want to just highlight some of the key words in there. How good it is for all of us to be together. How good it is for us to be together. This particular group of us. How good it is for all of us to be together. We're having some time to be together right now. And of course, how good it is for all of us to be together. So shalom aleichem, everybody. Peace be upon you.
Aleichem shalom.
And welcome. In Hebrew, we say, Bruchim habayim. Blessed are those who have come. That is our way in Hebrew of saying welcome. And indeed, we are truly blessed to be together. I'm Rabbi Lisa Rappaport, the spiritual leader of Congregation Beth Israel in Chico.
I am Chazan Steve Margolin, and I am the cantor of Congregation Beth Israel.
And we have several people from our congregation here, so thank you for coming and allowing us to truly be all together as one. Thank you, Pastor Ben, for inviting us again to be part of this wonderful series. And thank you to Faith Lutheran for hosting. Thank you to the people who provided the soup makers in our own community and beyond. It really is an honor for all of us to be together as interfaith partners on this path together, connecting and sharing and grappling with many of the deep challenges we face in our world. And of course, it's easy, even at dinner tonight, we talked a lot about just all the concerns and challenges and how that really weighs down on us. But I want to remind us, too, that we are here to share in all of the blessings that are around us. And just being here together tonight is truly a blessing. So while there may not be as many visible blessings readily available to us, because if we're plugged into the news, there's a lot of things that seem other than that, I want to remind us that when we come together in a community to gather in prayer, we are the place where miracles become possible, and we begin to see things differently just by the power of being together. Transformation is possible. That is the theme of this series, and that in itself is a miracle. So we know from our interfaith work together that we share a collective heart, pulsing with the same longings and desires to create a just and loving and respectful and peaceful world. We also share common time on the calendar. We're seeing changes from winter to spring. Thank God, we see the power of growth and transformation before our very eyes. Warmth, blossom, birds chirping their joyous little ditties, their song, in itself a prayer, praising new life. And right now, in both of our communities, we are deep in preparation. Well, all of our communities, we are deep in preparation for spring holidays, because we know that Easter and Passover overlap again this year, and we know the spiritual power that both of those holidays have for us. We are in much deep preparation, as I said, and we find ourselves now as in the days of the holidays themselves, which will bring us a transformational place. Because both of our holidays in this liturgical calendar, Easter and Passover, signal redemption, salvation, liberation of mind, body, and soul. God willing, the collective whole, that is the miracle of transformation. So as we steep in the goodness of our being here together, we know that already just by taking this time to be here, something is transformed. And as we proceed this evening, transformation continues to brew. Prayer generally, and I can speak specifically for Jewish prayer, is structured in a way that allows us to witness transformation actually taking place. The evening service, which we are giving you a little taste of, takes us from day to night. And in the evening prayers, we are allowed to see that transformation happening as you'll start to see the light will change as we're here together. So let's awaken to that possibility as we begin our evening prayer service together. Am I awake? We'll ask Chazan Steve to start us off with Am I Awake? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? La da 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 da. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Lie, 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 lie. We are awake to the liminality that we are in right now between day and night. This is a holy time, for we are witness to the end of one thing, this day full of light, and the beginning of another which begins with darkness. And in the rhythm of Jewish time, this transition marks the beginning of a new day, as day begins in the evening. So this is the start of Thursday. God called the light day and called the darkness night, and there was evening and there was morning, a first day. And so we offer blessing to the Holy One for managing this rise and fall of this glorious transition. So Chazan Steve will lead us now in our evening prayer, which is an alternative interpretation of the Ma'ariv Aravim prayer, Roll into Dark.
Roll into dark,
Roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night.
Let's do that again.
Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Yom v'layla, golem becomes day, day turns to night, roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. One of the essentials of Jewish prayer is that after we call ourselves into communal worship and we bless God for being our maestro of transitions, like the transition from day to night, the maestro that orchestrates and oversees all the liminal spaces, movements of time and season, we then return to something that is solid and unmovable and unshakable, and that is love. Mutual love, God's love for us and our love in return. And together we will offer an excerpt from the Ve'ahavta prayer, and you shall love, which expresses our role in loving God. And this is on our song sheet. And you shall love.
Backside, upper left.
All your heart,
All your soul,
and you shall love,
and you shall
love. All your soul, all your heart, and you shall love, and you shall love. All your heart, all your soul, and you shall love, and you shall love. All your soul, all you are, and you shall love, and you shall love. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvchol nafshecha uvchol meodecha. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvchol nafshecha uvchol meodecha. All your heart, all your soul, and you shall love, and you shall love. All your soul, all you are, and you shall love, and you shall love. All your heart, all your soul, and you shall love, and you shall love.
Some words of Torah. What is the Bible about? A patient at Enloe, where I serve as a spiritual care volunteer, hospital chaplain, asked me this question: what is the Bible about? Being a well-trained chaplain, thank you, Jamie, I turned the question back and I said, what do you think the Bible is about? And the patient said that people will tell you that the Bible is about faith and love and salvation and so on. And it is. But, he said, the Bible is mostly about making choices. So take a second and ponder that. The Bible is about making choices. We continually are presented with choices. Most are trivial, cornflakes or Cheerios. Learning to pay attention to that constant drizzle of choices prepares us to pay attention when a truly important choice arises. This is good advice. I would add that much of the Bible also is about getting up and going. Adam and Eve expelled from the garden. The Babel builders dispersed over the entire earth. Our father Abraham and our mother Sarah suddenly told, "Get thee hence, and far from thy father's house and unto the land that I will show you." Isaac, Joseph, Jacob, Moses and the Israelites, the 12 tribes settling the land, our exile to Babylon, return. The Bible is about being immigrants. So too are our own family stories. Some of us have been here much longer than most of us, but none of us is actually from here. The Hebrew word ger, in English spelled G-E-R, ger, is usually translated as alien or stranger or sojourner sometimes. But it simply means someone who is not from here. And the Bible teaches us that we are to love and protect the ger, the immigrant. And that is not exactly where I want to go with this. I want to return to this notion of migration, to the moment of getting up and going. Because getting up and going requires choices. The migrant cannot carry everything from their past. They decide what to take and what to leave behind. Tonight is a week before the full moon. Passover will begin on the full moon a week from today. Easter is 4 days later. Our Muslim brothers and sisters have just completed Ramadan. Right now, we are offered the opportunity and maybe an urgent call to get up and go, to pass through the doorway smeared with the blood of the Passover sacrifice and hurry out of Egypt, which in Hebrew is called Mitzrayim, which means the narrow place. As you prepare yourself for the moment of migration out of narrowness, ask yourself this: what have I been carrying that I need to put down? What must I leave behind to become the one I am meant to be? Blessings as you prepare for and set out on that journey.
Lai, 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 lai.
Ya lai 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 lai, ya lai 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 lai,
Ya lai, 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 ya lai, 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 lai.
ya lai lai lai,
Ya
ya
lai,
lai
lai,
lai. Thank you, Chazan Steve, for your teaching and for that palate cleanser as we move to another Torah teaching. Time, seasons, calendars, rituals. Where are we? We heard a little bit from Chazan Steve where we are. How do we approach all of this with the desire for growth and change and transformation? We are waxing from a new moon to a full moon, which will come to us Wednesday, April 1st, which is April Fool's Day, however that might go together. On the Gregorian calendar, we are in the season of Lent, which you're all aware of, which began back in February and concludes this Thursday. This is a very holy time on the calendar for Christians, which culminates in Easter, which I know you're all aware of. In Torah time, we have just finished Sefer Shmot, the book of Exodus, and in calendar time, we will be reliving the story of the Exodus around our Passover tables next week. We can feel the liminal shifting of the season. So a little bit about the book of Exodus. We learn about the life of Moses and his ultimate destiny and calling to liberate the people from the oppression of Pharaoh of Egypt. He leads his people to that redemptive moment at the Sea of Reeds. It is a powerful moment. I am sure you have seen all kinds of images and movies of this moment. And if I were to say, what does that moment look like to you? Something will pop up in your brain. Something like Moses with a raised arm and a staff in his hand, and something very miraculous happens. The sea transforms into something that is beyond the laws of nature. It splits. It forms two walls of contained water, and dry land appears for Bnei Israel, for the children of Israel to walk through and make it to the other side. Leaving slavery on one shore, as Kazan Steve said, what do we need to leave behind? Slavery on one shore, and then embracing full liberation, freedom from bondage on the other shore, because they have been redeemed by the hand of God, the Holy One of blessing. But what does that mean to be redeemed? I share a teaching from one of my Rebbes, Rabbi Marcia Prager. Before a group of rabbinical students learning about the themes of Passover, Reb Marcia spoke about her memories of being a child and watching her mother collect the S&H green stamps. Raise your hand if you've ever, you know what I'm talking about? Okay. So those of us of a certain age, there's a lot of us of that age in the room, know exactly what all of this was about. You would go to the grocery store or another store, and depending on how much or what you purchased, you would receive a collection of the little green stamps. And then at home, everyone had, what did they have at home? The booklet, where you would lick the stamps and place them in so that each page began to fill up with those green stamps. And then there was that exciting moment when the whole booklet was filled up. Because with that booklet, you could go to the Redemption Center. And in return for your booklet or booklets, you had the opportunity to pick something out in exchange. Your stamps were redeemed. So Reb Marcia talked about being thoroughly intrigued as a child with that process and how a simple book of stamps, when redeemed, suddenly transformed into a toaster or a teapot or a set of dishes. The book of stamps turned into that which it was meant to become for the holder of that booklet. She contemplated this deeply and considered the religious and spiritual meaning, probably because she was destined to become a rabbi, and she especially would think about this with the language of the children of Israel being redeemed by the Holy One with an outstretched hand at the Sea of Reeds. Her message to us as rabbinical students, and so I share that message with all of us here, was to consider redemption as the moment that prompts us, propels us to become what we are truly meant to be. Once redeemed, we are now able to transform ourselves. Bnei Israel, the children of Israel, were not meant to be slaves to Pharaoh, to live a life of bondage and oppression. We were meant to be a liberated people, making our way to the promised land, to live a life full of mitzvot, righteous actions that connect us to the Holy One, to be a holy people and to bring holiness into the world. So she asked the question of us, which happened to be right at the season we find ourselves in now, the season of change, new life, rebirth, redemption. Who are we? What is our purpose, our potential, and what very much like Hazan Steve prompted us. What is interfering with getting there? What might we need to leave behind, or what might we need to embrace? What is the narrow place, meets Ryan, that is keeping us from being the full, expanded, redeemed version of ourselves? We are not meant to be a stamp book partially filled, or a stamp book all filled up, just not yet exchanged at the Redemption Center. That is not what God wants from us. We don't want a life stuck on almost or potentially. Whatever that potential is, this season of liberation and new birth, of fresh beginnings, calls on us to step from potential into realization. In the Torah, redemption, geula, and transformation are interconnected, but they are a distinct process, which I think is important to highlight right now. Redemption refers to a structural, situational, or legal change in status, such as being liberated from slavery or being brought back to God's purpose. Transformation, on the other hand, is the internal, often gradual process of change in character, personality, or nature that often follows that redemption. And to know that a seasonal time like this, the communal opportunity to step into something new and pure, is exponentially greater than a regular day on the calendar, right? So Passover or Easter, those days and the preparation for those days make the potential for transformation exponentially greater because it's something we're doing together. But we have the opportunity each and every day to do this refining work, collecting those stamps that bring us to the Redemption Center. So it is upon us to recognize the moment in which we find ourselves right now, this sacred time on the calendar that brings us to new beginnings, that calls us out of bondage, whatever that might look like for us, and to rise into the reality of who we are meant to be. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be so. And with this idea of transformational energy, the transformation that we collectively bring by taking the time to be here together, to pray together, we will pray for healing now together. In a moment, we will chant together the Elna Rafana La prayer, which is on your song sheet. But we'd like to, right now, ask you to, in no particular order, just popcorn style, to say out loud the names of the people in your life for whom you are praying for their healing.
Rabbi Zoe Van Ran, Rabbi Marcia Prager, a rabbi I name in my heart, Cantor Jessica Leash, and Daniel, son of Sadie.
We have a Mishaberach list filled with many names from people in our community, so I'm visualizing that list now and bringing all of those names to us, and I would like to also add my Uncle Rick Mizuki. So we will chant together these words, Elna Rafana La, which were the words that Moses chanted on behalf of his sister Miriam when she was afflicted. Please, God, please heal her. Elna Rafana La, Elna Rafana La, Elna Rafana La, Refuah Shlema, Elna Rafana La, Elna Rafana La, Elna Rafana La, Refuah Shlema. Elna Rafana La, Elna Rafana La, Elna Rafana
If you look out the window, you'll see that the light has changed while we've been here together since we all came in for soup. And we're close on to Eventide, so Thursday is beginning. And the evening liturgy every day of the week has a prayer called Hashkivenu, which is about lying down and asking for protection during the night so that we can rise up again in the morning. The song on the song sheet called Wings of Peace is an adaptation of the Hashkivenu prayer, which speaks about asking the Holy One to spread over us a sukkah, a tabernacle of peace. Sukkot Shlomecha, the sukkah of your peace. And this adaptation is by Rabbi Arya Hirschfield of blessed memory, the music by Dave Marston. Ufros aleinu sukkat shalom, shalom. Spread over us wings of peace. Shalom. Ufros aleinu sukkat shalom, shalom. Spread over us wings of peace. Shalom. Draw water in joy from the living well. Draw water in joy from the living well. Ma'im Chaim, waters of life. Shalom. Ufros aleinu sukkat shalom, shalom. Spread over us wings of peace. Shalom. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the one who is always with us bless us and keep us. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May the one who is most gracious cause his face to shine upon us and be gracious to us.
Can you hear it, son?
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yosem lecha shalom. May the one from whom blessings flow into the world and into each of us and from us to everyone we encounter, to everyone we touch. May that one, may that Holy One cause his face to rise up to you and grant you God's most precious gift, which is shalom, peace, completion, and wholeness.
Can you hear it,
Ken
son?
Yiratzon, may it be so.
We are going to close our time together. Hopefully you feel different than when we started. A mini transformation of sorts. We're going to sing together, Olam Chesed Yibaneh. I will build this world from love. The words, Olam Chesed Yibaneh, the liturgy, come from Psalm 89, and the music and the English translation come from my teacher, Rabbi Menachem Creditor. This really, the way he built these words, it really is about the transformative process. Because first we do all we can really do, which is to start with ourselves. I will build this world from love. And hopefully that will inspire you. And you will also get involved and build this world from love. And if we're doing that in a way that is collaborative and partnership, then the transformative process becomes we. We are building the world from love. And what Rabbi Creditor says is that when we do that, that is when God gets very happy and very interested and wants to get involved and also builds the world from love. And that is when miracles and other kinds of transformative processes are possible. So it starts with us, and it starts with us singing together. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. We'll start with the Yaidi Dai so you can hear how this goes. Yai, 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 yai. Yada, dai, 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 yada, dai, dai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yada, dai, 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 yada, dai, dai. We'll do that a couple more times. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yada, dai, 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 yada, dai, dai. We go up a little. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yada, dai, 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 yada, dai, dai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yada, dai, 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 dai. I will build this world from love. Yada, dai, 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 yada, dai, dai. And you must build this world from love. Yada, dai, 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 dai. And if we build this world from love, yada, dai, 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 yada, dai, dai, then God will build this world from love. Yada, dai, 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 yada, dai, dai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yada, dai, 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 yada, dai, dai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yada, dai, dai, yada, dai, dai. So we say Laila Tov, a good evening, a good night to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for inviting us. And may this be a blessed season for all of us of transformation.